Here today with Mike Graham, one of the most popular presenters at Talk Radio. By one of this country's best media presenters, Talk Radio's Julia Hartley-Brewer. By Isabel Oakeshott, one of the top political journalists and commentators in this country. The Brexit hero and Conservative MP Nigel Evans. With Toby Young, the founder of the Free Speech Union. Well, yes, Annunciata Rees-Mogg, the former Conservative MEP.
So, thanks for coming on the show, Madeline.
Hello, Tom. Welcome to the channel.
Hi, great to be here.
Now we're joined by the one and only Nigel Farage. How are you, Nigel?
Fine, thanks, Mike. Good, yeah.
Some of us are moving on. Not everybody's apparently accepting the result. Right, let's talk about Greta Thunberg. The EU member states attacked the Commission and Germany are now in trouble. If we need more nurses, we will bring more nurses. If we don't need low-skilled workers, we won't bring low-skilled workers. So I'm currently on Edgware Road and this place is absolutely crazy. I mentioned Owen Jones having this weird meltdown for absolutely no reason.
They don't know what's about to come. This building is about to cause chaos again.
Like one of these, but, well, these are actual real flags, but the European Union flag, one of those fake flags. Well, as you guys know, the ULEZ expansion has now been implemented, but Sadiq Khan is in trouble already because not only a lot of his cameras, the new ULEZ cameras, are damaged or have been removed, there's a massive problem with the rest of the policy. But in this video, we have a special guest who's joining us to tell us what's going on in Greater London. As you guys know, the anti-ULEZ activists, or as well the Blade Runners, have been going around causing chaos and fighting on behalf of ordinary Londoners and, of course, those who are outside of London. On this channel right now, we have one of the Blade Runners who is joining us. Welcome to the show. How's everything going? How's the fight back?
It's going okay, not too bad at the moment. Become a little bit time-consuming process now because obviously they've decided to armor the cameras and the wiring with plates and things. But with every design, there's always a flaw. The flaw being that you need access to them cameras and the back of them one way or another. So the actual platings do have a hole in them and do have an access point, so there is still a way of getting through to them. It's just a case of it's just being a bit more time consuming than what it used to be, where you just used to rock up and chop the wire.
Oh.
But other than that, yeah, last count, so I've been told, most recently it was around about 570, 580 cameras disabled since August. So yeah, I mean, could be more, should be more, but then they shouldn't really be up in the first place.
So that's the thing. Obviously, you guys would say that the fight is that we are going against when the law is wrong or then there's tyranny, it's justified. But it's still a bit of a risk that you guys decided to take, essentially breaking the law, right? And you could easily get caught or something like that. Have you considered that and the consequences about what could happen to you?
I mean, I said to someone the other day, if you was to line up 6-7 people who were classed as criminals for multiple offences, whatever offences from murders to rapes to robbery and everything else, and you stuck me in that line, I think you'll find the majority of the people would probably stick me very low down on the list as classed as a criminal in terms of compared to the rest of them.
Yep.
But then that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Not everybody's going to agree with it, and most people I would imagine will.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, the whole thing is bizarre, the whole situation, up to a point where the measures that you guys are taking, for example, it's very drastic compared to what we are used to in this country, because we're not a revolutionary country. We're not really a violent country compared to the French, who are ready to burn cars every Tuesday. But so how bad things have gotten that for ordinary citizens like yourselves, as I said, taking a risk of breaking the law and potentially getting caught just to fight on behalf of, basically, you guys are the new Robin Hood characters in Greater London and in Britain in general. Why is it that establishment haven't noticed that they've gone too far and the creation of essentially not really anarchy, but a rebellion is the cause of tyranny?
Yeah, I mean, it's enough's enough. You know, this constant blame the car, blame the working class person, blame or whatever you want to call it. Enough is enough. You know, we've seen it before. Like we see it with the speed cameras and everything else years and years ago, and that. And there was this big sort of like ticking, sort of like people burning them and setting fire to them and stuff like that. You know. But yeah, just enough. Enough is enough now with this climate. With the climate change agenda has become the new COVID.
Yeah.
You know, and the symptoms are loss of breath, and the causes are the car.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
that's saving
and yeah, and we're going to save your life by charging you £12.50. That's just the most nonsensical. I can't swear, but it's just the most the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard in my life. To be honest, on a personal scale, and you know, if it was really about climate, why would you put a camera on every traffic light across the city? When every traffic, and you know where I'm going with this, every traffic light is around about a mile apart. So if you're gonna close off the city to polluting cars, why don't you just put like a toll barrier around the M25 with the entrance roads for all other roads that they into the M25? You could do like a toll road, for example. This is just me thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
You could put a sign up saying, "This is now London. This is a ultra low emission zone area. This is how much we charge," and you go from there. Why do you have to put an APA and or whatever they're called every mile on every traffic light down every mile? We know why. Because when these cameras eventually become obsolete because you forced everybody into a compliant ULEZ car, what are you going to do with them cameras then? It's obvious what you're going to do.
Well, we're going to get road charges and everything else and the next scheme and the next one. And this is why you're absolutely spot on. So actually, forget about that part of it. The whole fundamental issue with the policy is, let's just say it's for the climate. Let's just say we want to do something, hypothetically, for the sake of the argument. The whole thing is redundant because even if his intention is good, that he wants people to have better cars, right? So part of this scheme is punishment. So they tax you. The other part is incentivizing you. So technically, they're still taking your money, but they use the scrappage system to help you get a new car. So if he really cares about ordinary people and the environment, why not cancel the tax part of it, the charge, and just basically help people change their cars by incentivizing them? Let's just say for the sake of the argument. But it proves that it's not really about the climate either.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, like you got to remember that the whole scrappage scheme started after the cameras went live.
Yep.
So you can apply after you've already been charged a couple of times. So there's the first con. The second one is as well is like why couldn't you have had a conversation as the mayor of London? Why couldn't you have had a conversation, a decent dialogue, instead of burning bridges with the government and with the DVLA, Transport for Ministry of Transport, where you could have sent, because the DVLA have everybody's license numbers. So why couldn't you have sent a letter, get the DVLA to send a letter to say to everybody, two years ago when you first thought this idea up, sent a letter to everybody with a non-compliant car, in 2023 your car will no longer meet emission standards, but there's help here and we can do such and such a thing. We'll give you a minimum of £2,000 to scrap your car, and two, they could have then had dialogue with dealerships up and down the country where they could have said to the dealerships, look, we need you to do this, and got the dealerships to do some sort of deal where if they bring their certificate of conformity to show that they've scrapped their car, they will then give you 40% off of a new car. Why couldn't you have done that? You could have done, and I've just thought that up literally 10 minutes ago. Yeah, it's taken the Mayor of London 2 years to come up with an idea after he applies the scheme,
Yeah.
that he's got, we'll give you a measly £2 to scrap a car.
This is about obviously the mayor, but there's also the other side of the political spectrum. I want to get your opinion on this because the Tories, they've got in a city hall, they've got some assembly members and they've got candidates for mayoralty and they've got the national government and all that, right? So the Tories are saying now that they are against it. They are against the ULEZ and all this. But nothing has been done about it. There's also a lot of theories that the Tories actually want ULEZ to happen and Sadiq Khan to do it so that they could use it in the next election as a political opportunity to basically say, hey, we will remove it, even though it's kind of immoral politically to allow a policy like this to start in the first place. Instead of actually stopping it, they allow it to start so they could use it politically against Sadiq Khan. What do you think of that?
Oh, yeah, exactly. 100%. 100%. If they wanted to stop it, they could have stopped it. As I agreed with what Nigel Farage said a few days ago. Even if it didn't stop it, you could have delayed it. And you could have made it difficult for him to get it to work. But they chose not to. And the reason they chose not to is obvious, because we've already had Rishi Sunak come out the other day where he's now saying, oh, it's up to Keir Starmer and it's up to Sadiq Khan to justify why they've done it in a cost of living crisis. I'm sorry, you're the Prime Minister, are you not? You're in charge of the country, are you not? Sure, it's not for us to ask questions of the mayor. It's for you to lead the country.
Yep.
Stop being yeah, it is. As much as I don't like the Mayor of London, the buck does stop with other people as well. Grant Shapps, for example, he should have never have given Sadiq Khan the idea in the first place. And yet this man now has got a promotion and becoming Defence Secretary. I don't know how that works, but there you go. So yeah, they're all to blame. They're all to blame for it, really. So yeah, and that's why we're doing what we're doing, and we won't stop doing it until either the scheme is abandoned and scrapped altogether, or when the next mayor comes in, if and when he comes in, again it's scrapped and abandoned altogether. We'll wait and see.
Yes, well, thank you very much. When I announced on the channel that we're going to have you guys on the show, people panicked. They're like, you're going to expose them. They're going to be their face, then the voice. I'm like, no, we have a technology. We're going to use the same technology the state used against us to monitor us. We're going to use it to hide. All right,
that's it.
But also, for legal reasons, kids, do not try this at home.
No, I mean, can I just say, I would never... me and the rest of us have never actually endorsed doing what we do. We don't encourage people to do it, but at the same time, you need to recognise as well that this is now become a thing where people are going out and doing it individually and everything else, and that it's not just us as a group that's doing it anymore. There is other people going out there and doing it, and it's down to them. But yeah. We don't encourage people to come along and join us in any way, shape, or form. So, but at the same time, we don't blame anyone for doing it.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for actually acknowledging and mentioning that, just in case people might misunderstand the whole situation. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching and supporting the channel and our new media revolution. I'm Maya TC, and we are the media.